Good evening, fight fans. This is the Soul of a Fighter podcast, episode 2. I'm here with Roberto of Fightbook MMA. We're without Gerald tonight because he had an emergency, so we wish him luck and looking forward to having you back on next week, buddy. Well, Gerald, over to you, bro.
What's going on, guys? Let's see. For tonight, I guess we're going to talk about a little bit about the article that I wrote. Something. It was really interesting that I read, and I figured I try to do my own take on this. It was about the bill that was passed for legalizing MMA in New York, and a lot of voters they're actually not happy. Which I kind of understand, their perspective on why they don't want, they're not liking this bill. The bill, it raised the insurance rate for all combat sports from 10,000 to 50,000. That's a huge, huge jump. And they also have to have the insurance policy of 1 million for a traumatic brain injury. The big promoters are not wanting to put championship boxing on in New York just for the fact because they probably can't afford the 1 million. And then the other 50,000 for the general medical coverage. It's good that MMA is now legal in New York, but it sucks because now boxing is not going to be at the. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Well, basically, first of all, kudos for an excellent article. And second of all, yeah, this is just typical, basically, New York. It's not so much New York, it's the people who run these associations and things, they just don't know what they're doing. Like, basically, it took them nearly 20 years to reverse the most ridiculous ruling they ever had, basically to ban MMA. And now they did a good thing, and they managed to F it up by passing this new, I wouldn't call it a law, it's this new policy, because basically what they're doing is, I think up to, I read somewhere, 85 to 90% of all, basically they're killing grassroots, they're killing regional and amateur boxing, and MMA, by the way, in one fell swoop. And even major promoters like Lou Dalla, who I believe is a Hall of Famer, is saying that he's going to struggle to put cards together because it's just so expensive. Remember, New York is one of the most expensive places on earth. It's up there with London and Paris. So just putting on a card is already expensive. Travel, hotel fees, whatever you name it, is already expensive. So with this 1 million insurance for head injuries, basically all these people are just out. They're going to have to look for somewhere else to do. I mean, it's already affecting lots of cards. I mean, in your article, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. The world, the 160-pound world champion. He's fighting in Philadelphia instead of New York. They were supposed to fight in the Barclays Center, and they're going to be fighting in Philadelphia because they just can't afford it. They just can't.
Oh, the Daniel Jacobs versus Sergio Mora?
Thank you. Anyways, I mean, that's...
Yeah, they're exactly. And it's not just one title. It's for the 160-pound title, and then for the vacant 135. Those two were the headliners of that card in New York, but because they can't afford this bill or this insurance, they decided to go to Pennsylvania.
Exactly. That's a world title.
Losing a lot of money, man.
Exactly. But it's typical of the people who vote and make these and rule makers in New York. They have a problem. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys. I'm sure you watched it, Roberto. Remember when they finally legalized MMA in New York? Did you see some of the creatures that were sitting on that were basically lawmakers? You had Rory MacDonald's brother. He sticks in my mind because he was all kinds of beautiful. I mean, like, I'll affectionately refer to them as basement dwelling scum. Basically, you had one guy dressed as like Captain Kirk from the Starship Enterprise, talking about basically like, oh, it's slavery. It reminds me of slavery when they have Negroes fighting to the death and stuff like that. I mean, these guys know nothing about the sport, and they just prove by putting these directives and these rules in place that they know nothing about boxing either. They know nothing. Because you can't do that. Like, they looked at the UFC, looked at them and thought, okay, there's a lot of money in this sport, and thought, okay, we'll do that. Like, everybody can afford $1 million, and everybody can afford to go from 10,000 to 50,000. But basically, the UFC is the exception, not the rule. The UFC stands alone. UFC, Bellator, maybe ONE FC, they're well funded, but the rest are people almost like you and me who have a passion for the sport, and most of whom do not care about making a profit. They're just looking to break even. That's one thing a coach of mine told me. I'll never forget it. He said, like, especially in MMA, if you really care about your fighters, you really care about the sport, then if you manage to break even, you're successful, because there's very few good promoters out there who actually make money. Most of them lose money, because if they really put the fighters first, it's very hard to make a profit. And, like, basically the only promoters out there who make a profit in the vast majority of the time are guys who don't care about fighters, and who put fighters, like, I mean, I'm sure you heard of Explode MMA. These people don't care, and they make a profit, apparently, because they put in seasoned veterans with soccer moms and stuff like that. But the other thing about this ruling is, like, I mean, remember when they banned MMA in New York? Like, it had the complete reverse effect. New York has been a huge state for MMA, like amateur MMA. Basically, a lot of very, very good fighters came through the ranks of the amateur grassroots MMA scene in New York. I mean, they put on thousands of amateur fights every year, and it was a vibrant, very successful scene where a lot of great fighters and people who didn't even want to go pro, who just wanted to test themselves, would fight in bars, in pubs, in even like undergrounds. The underground scene was vibrant, and there was a lot of great fights, whether it was Muay Thai, whether it was mixed martial arts. I mean, they had everything. You had thousands of fights. It was probably the most active state as far as MMA. So already their ruling did nothing except for, I mean, okay, we're not going to get into it, but a big part of it, of them banning in the first place, was because of corruption. Because is it Phil Silver or Don Silver or Sheldon Silver, who was taking money from Zuffa's opponents, from Vegas, those guys, the unionists from Vegas, who were trying to get, who were trying to unionize the Lorenzo's casinos and stuff. So yeah, basically it's just a mess, and they just made another. I mean, it's wonderful that we're going to get to watch UFC and Bellator in New York, but they managed to fuck up another thing, and that's basically that's a real shame, because I mean, I'm sorry, like, you want to talk MMA? There's a lot of future great MMA fighters coming from New York. We're not going to get to fight in regional. We're not going to get to get known in New York and have a following in New York because of this ruling. Just like there are a lot of boxers who are going to suffer from it. And I'm telling you, New York is a special state when it comes to boxing. I mean, look at Miguel Cotto. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard of Miguel Cotto. A big part of his following is all his fans in New York, and that's why he always fights in Madison Square Garden, because he has a huge following. With this ruling, the next Miguel Cotto or the next, I don't know, maybe even Manny Pacquiao is not going to be able to build any kind of fan following because he's fighting for a promoter that can't afford to pay these ridiculous fees.
Yeah.
So, there you go. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, it sucks because I mean, like, you know, the promotion that I really like is York is Ring of Combat. You know, Ring of Combat. The owner Lou. You know, they put on great shows. These amateur fights are like freaking phenomenal. And who came out of that Ring of Combat? You have Chris Weidman. He fought for them. Who else fought in for Ring of Combat? I mean, there's Uriah Hall. That's right. He fought out of Ring of Combat. The Jersey guy. There you go, Frankie Edgar. You know, they're really good friends of Lou's, and he fought from that promotion, and look where they're at. You know where they're at now. Exactly. Whole, you know, this bill that they are implementing in legalizing MMA. You know, a lot of these promotions are gonna be like, you know what, fuck that. I'm gonna go to, you know, across the island so I can put on shows there instead of in New York.
Yeah, they're gonna go across the bridge and then go right back to New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's just
they'll go straight to New Jersey. It's like the next show for Ring of Combat. It's in New Jersey.
No, exactly. It's amazing, but it's amazing. Like two of the biggest states for combat are New York and Vegas, but they're plagued with people who do not know their noses from their backside, basically. Because you look at New Jersey, for all the jokes and Jersey Shore gimmicks we give them, they have the best combat. Combat sports association, whatever you want to call it. The guys there. I mean, what's his name? The guy who runs it is one of the best people in MMA as far as like ruling, as far as rule making and protecting fighters. Because that's his motto. It's about the fighters. It's always about the fighters. The fighters always have to present first. And every single rule or policy you push through is always with the fighters' welfare in mind. That's what he's been doing in everything he's done. Like right now, his latest thing, he's trying to fix judging, because obviously judging in MMA is a joke. And basically what he's doing is he's experimenting. He's putting judges in cubicles where they can't hear any sound from the crowd. They can't hear the commentary. They have 3 monitors, and they get to watch the fight like you and I do from home. But they get to see it even better because they see it from every angle. Basically, every angle the camera has, they will have, and they don't have any sound. So no one can affect or
manipulate them,
interfere with their decision making. They won't hear Joe Rogan's commentary. They won't hear John Anik. They won't hear Goldie. They'll just see with their eyes and make up their own minds. Because apparently we have judges who will listen to commentary and look at highlights to decide who wins, which is just unbelievably well. Yeah.
Dude, that's freaking. That would be awesome if they could do that all the time for all promotions.
It should be written into law because too many fighters are getting ripped off. I mean, one of the worst, and I can't believe how freaking confident and just easygoing he is. But what's his name? The ex. Jesus, I have such a thoughtful thing. It's unbelievable. It's
I know, me too.
Freaking Game Bread, man. My man Game Bread. Jorge Masvidal. How many times has he been screwed over by fan judging decisions? I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
I just between last year and this year, I can name 3 fights that really he should have won. He lost to Iaquinta, and I love Iaquinta, but I'm an Iaquinta fan, and I thought he lost that fight. I thought there was no way. I mean, you want to call it a draw, because he did come back, from almost getting finished in the first round. Masvidal got screwed in that fight. Then he fought. What's his name? He just knocked out. Just knocked out the guy from Elevation MMA. Just UFC 202. They highlighted the prelims. It was a welterweight fight. Oh my god.
Oh man, I can't remember the name.
Liberty Bell carved into his hair, to the side of his head. Lorenz Larkin. Lorenz Larkin fought Jorge Masvidal. I thought Masvidal won that fight, but he got screwed out of that. And finally, his last fight, he beat Ross Pearson, and I was really getting worried because I was like, are they going to screw him out of that too? Even though he put a beating on Ross Pearson so bad, Ross Pearson walked to the wrong corner and thought the fight was over after one round. Remember that one?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But like, basically, judging is a problem. It needs to be fixed. And I'm really glad that New Jersey Commission is on the ball.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his stats right now for Masvidal, and his losses.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. Some of these judges are just so stupid. Just like the Lozon Jim Miller fight. Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was quite tight, that fight. I don't know. Like, personally, I thought it was really, really close. I think it could have been a draw, but I don't know. It was a lot. I mean, it was close like the first one. Just that the first one was, you could tell that Jim Miller won. This one, it was closer than that. So I don't know. I couldn't really decide between the two. A lot of people thought that Lozon won, but I think what edged it for Miller was the fact he was more accurate. With his striking.
Mm-hmm.
His strikes were crisper than Lozon's. Lozon, he caught him a couple times, but Lozon looked like he was trying to knock him out with every shot, and Miller was a lot more accurate. And that's basically why I think they gave it to him. I know Lozon got a couple really good takedowns, but he didn't really manage to do anything with him. Like, he went for submissions, but I mean, Jim Miller is so good on the ground, he couldn't do anything to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But back on that topic of the bill, there's always going to be those people that are going to talk, and they're always going to be in New York now but it's not because of MMA. It's because of the people that made the bill. Why they made that bill for. Realized, I guess they had to make this bill, and it's not MMA's fault. It's not the UFC's fault. It's not Bellator's fault. It's not the MMA's fault. It's just these people are trying to look out for these fighters. They're trying to look out, pay them $1 million, for them, because they get head trauma. Who's going to pay for all that?
No,
the fighters barely even make enough money to, in the UFC or whatever, and this insurance policy is going to cover any head injuries that they have.
$1 million. It just sounds like it sounds like somebody was in a meeting with these basement-dwelling creatures, and basically after you saw the video, like they were live. Some of their reasons, and one guy, that's Rosie O'Donnell's brother, actually referred to MMA as gay sex without the payoff. That's what he called it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, imagine him, okay, finally voting for MMA, like, okay, yeah, fine, we have to vote for it because everybody wants it, let's vote for it. And one of these guys, or somebody brings up fighter safety, like, they will get kicked in the head, so brain injuries are a possibility. Oh my God. Let's make sure they're insured. And it sounds, honestly, like the 1 million number, I just have this sick feeling like somebody just said, oh, yeah, let's insure them. $1 million. There you go. It sounds like, no, honestly, it sounds like everything else. And I mean, I'm not just basing it off of me thinking they're a bunch of morons, but yes, I am, because they actually showed it to me. Get this matter? Like, I watched them for 2.5 hours talking absolute nonsense. So this 1 million sounds like just an extension of their nonsense, and like they didn't think it through. I'm a bit cynical in the way I see things, but it's just like, you'll have to forgive me after what I've seen, and like lately, we've been plagued by people with authority and a lot of power who have no right to have it, and don't have the intelligence or the wherewithal to use it properly. And it sounds like a typical like knee-jerk reaction of someone who doesn't understand anything or doesn't know like what it will cost people, because they supposedly banned MMA in '97 for safety reasons and saying, oh, it's barbaric and we care about fighter safety. Well, if you cared about fighter safety, you wouldn't have banned it in the first place, because all you did was ban professional MMA. There were plenty of amateur fights. There were thousands of going, like I said before, it was the most active states for MMA. And it's not just MMA, it's kickboxing, Muay Thai. Every kind of combat sport you can imagine, they did it in New York. I mean, for Christ's sake, it's New York. Everything happens in New York. It's one of the world's biggest and most important city. So if there's something going on, it will happen in New York. So now, with this bill, this bill just strikes me as something like the governor or a couple of senators want to show that they care, so they throw that out there. But what they're doing really is stifling all of grassroots, all of regional, and all of amateur MMA. And many professional promotions aren't going to be able to afford that. Because $1 million.
Oh, no.
Right? It's just,
no way, dude. That's insane. I mean, who? Oh yeah, like who carries $1 million? Sure, the UFC, but other than that, I mean, come on.
Yeah, but $1 million is not just for just $1 million. It's per fighter. So let's say you have a card where 5 fighters suffer concussions. That's a brain injury. That's $5 million. That's the way it works. And okay, the UFC can afford that. Bellator can definitely afford that. If one UFC ever do a card, they can afford that. Then the World Series of Fighting, you'd think they can afford that, but at the same time, they don't always pay their fighters on time. So I'm not sure they can afford that like in 5 years, or they'll pay you $5 a month, or I don't know what. But yeah, I mean, right? I mean, look, even a heavy hitter in the world of boxing, like Richard Schaefer, formerly of Golden Boy Promotions. I mean, he's as heavy as they come. He's saying he's going to have to look twice. Said he loves New York. He said a plenty of fights in New York with Cotto and Margarito, and he just started an MMA promotion this year, I believe. And even he is saying he's going to look twice before setting up cards in New York. So that tells you how punitive and how expensive it is. And he was explaining. He said it's one thing to put $1 million. He said it's another thing to do that in New York, one of the most expensive cities on earth. So there you go. I mean, I'm sorry. I think I'm repeating myself, but yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, he started a promotion called Ringstar Sports, and it's going to be based in Los Angeles. But like you said, man, he's gonna think twice to bring a show in New York. He would love to in the future, but it ain't gonna be anytime soon. And I don't think anybody in the in the boxing industry or the MMA or kickboxing industry is gonna be coming to New York anytime soon.
Well, I think like even in boxing, okay, there's what's his name, Louis Bella, who's basically saying he's going to struggle to afford that, and he's a major promoter. Okay, Golden Boy can obviously take the hit there, but one of the biggest ones out there. There's what's it called, the PBC. They can afford. They've got like investment up to
PBC Premier, yeah, PBC can afford it, but doubt that they even want to try it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to them. I mean, they could afford it if they really wanted to, because, there is the cachet of it being in New York. What's his name? Mayweather could definitely afford it, because he puts on fight cards. But I bet you he's just going to say, you know what, I'm better off in Vegas. That's where he's from.
Yeah. Mayweather, that $1 million is pocket change for that fool.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I mean, but he's not gonna. But he's out to make money. So why would he want to take his promotion out there when he can double it? And not pay that hefty fee.
Exactly. The only way I see Mayweather, because Mayweather's not just because you can afford it and you should spend it. The only way I see Mayweather like going to the Barclays Center or Madison Square Garden is if he has a fighter who's on the verge of becoming a superstar or a superstar draw and says, I want to fight home. I want to fight in New York. That's my home. And then he probably put it up because they're going to make that money back tenfold. But otherwise,
oh, yeah, he's going to make that money back.
All of these fighters, and there are plenty, especially, well, not just especially, in every combat sport, there are plenty of special, super talented fighters, men or women, in MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, you name it, who come from New York, who are training right now, and right now, just because they're not famous yet, with that ridiculous 1 million fee, they're basically cutting them off at the knees from building a following at home in New York because their promoters and they won't be able to afford to compete professionally there. So, yeah. And, there was this brilliant article and video on YouTube of basically the biggest amateur MMA promotion in New York. They have to close their doors because they can't afford to do it. They can't afford to do anything. Because basically the big boys roll in, the big pros roll in. It's legal now. So amateur MMA has to find a new home. New York amateur MMA has to find a new home because then they're done. And that's really sad. Like, it's wonderful that we're going to get to watch UFC cards, but let's spare a thought for the amazing men and women who promoted MMA, grassroots and amateur for all since 1997.
You're just gonna have to go across the island, like I said. They're gonna have to go to Jersey and just fight there, which sucks.
Yep. All the Jersey Shore. Okay. Well, that was our first issue of the podcast. The second one, we wanted to discuss the UFC 202 fallout. So, Robert, you still have time to discuss it, or do you need to go?
Oh, no, I'm good. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do this. Okay. So, UFC 202, I mean, by now you all were not ruining the card for anyone. You know who won. Top of the card, Conor got a split decision, or a majority decision, if you prefer, which I personally believe was wrong. We'll get back to that in a second. Cowboy continued to impress at welterweight by knocking out what I thought was I've never seen him knocked out before. Rick Story. He was completely destroyed Rick Story. One of the scariest, baddest welterweights on the planet. And Rumble did what Rumble does. Basically, he just knocked Teixeira dead. There were other really good fights, but we'll concentrate on these three. And of course, Lorenz Larkin knocking out Neil Magny. That was a really impressive performance as well. And yes, my girl Raquel Pennington dominating Elizabeth Phillips. That was a pretty good fight too. There was no finish, but it was a really entertaining fight to watch. I'm really happy for Raquel because a lot of people underestimated her. Didn't pay enough attention because her record was still good. I mean, she started off fighting like absolute monsters like Katzengano, people like that. So of course your record's not going to look too good when you're basically an MMA rookie and you're fighting champs and seasoned veterans and championship contenders. You're only going to take a couple losses. So like now she's gone on I think it's her first winning run. I think she's won 3 fights in a row for the first time in her UFC career. So good for her. Congratulations. And let's discuss.
It was a good fight, man. It was a really good fight. She dominated. I mean, it was a different Raquel than what I've seen in the past.
Yeah, much more measured. I mean, I love the fact
she looked like she was more focused, like she was ready.
I mean, she out-wrestled a very good wrestler. Elizabeth Phillips is no joke. She's a very good wrestler. That's her strength, and Raquel completely dominated her on the ground. She both out-grappled and out-wrestled her. She was, Elizabeth Phillips is tough, so Raquel didn't get the finish. But at the same time, like she that's like you said, she's more focused. She didn't like try and force the finish. She didn't look for the finish so much that she like it's like they say. Mayweather always says it. If you look for the knockout, that's a great way to lose because you leave yourself open to the counter and everything. So she made sure. Whether it's like the Raquel Pennington that I knew when she first started out, she would have looked for that knockout and would have gotten cautious.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I remember her fight with Katzengano. It was a good fight, but she was so focused on trying to knock.
She was headhunting on that fight, man.
Exactly, and that's why. I mean, you do that with Kat, she will catch you, and catch her. She did, but it's really impressive. Ever since it's funny, like ever since UFC 181 when she choked out Rachel Evans Smith or Ashley Evans Smith, I forget.
Ashley Evans Smith.
Ashley Evans Smith, who's an awesome fighter herself, by the way. Ashley Evans Smith was putting a beating on her. She cut her. She was dominating her physically. She's a very powerful fighter herself. And she just stayed calm and caught Ashley in a nasty bulldog choke and choked her out. Choked her on college in the first round, at the end of the first round. And ever since then, you've seen a new, like a more focused and more polished Raquel Pennington. She still has that bulldog, that dog attitude where she will just fight through anything. But she's added a couple kinks, more patience, and she's been very impressive. Okay, she lost a single fight in that run. She lost the fight to Holly Holm, but it was very close, and a lot of people were actually booing the decision because they thought she had won because she got a knockdown on Holly. But she's been a nightmare for everybody else. She choked out what's her name? Brazilian fighter who recently knocked out Jessica Penne, who's a dangerous fighter, and she managed to choke her out. Then she got a win over Betch Correa, which was really impressive. It was a great fight, back and forth brawl. Yeah, there again, like they brawled, but she just managed to eke out the decision because she was more focused. Betche tried to knock her out, and she didn't. She went for it, but at the same time, she kept her eye on the prize and absorbed less punishment than Betche. It was a very. I mean, I'm really happy for Raquel. Bennington, and it's like she's getting better with every fight. So, congratulations to her. Should we move on to what we thought about like a quick word about the Lorenz Larkin versus the Neil Magny fight?
Sure.
All right.
Yep. You know, I go ahead.
No, you go. You go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Neil, he's a Neil's a beast, man, and to see him lose like that against Lorenz was kind of very, very crazy.
It was a great fight. I'm heartbroken for Magny
Yeah,
because he's such a great dude. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I
he
always
is.
he comes across as such a good person. And like,
He is an awesome guy, man. Anytime whenever I get the chance to say hi to him, through text, he's pretty quick in responding. So he's really, really, really good. And you know what, man? He's part of the Facebook group that I have, and you'll see him comment once in a while in our posts. So that tells you a lot about him, man. He's fighter. Yes, he's Neil Magny, but he is freaking down to earth, man. He is just awesome guy. And just to lose like that was
that was a brutal beat down. Like, I mean, to talk about Lorenz for a second here, he has one of the best, the nastiest, most unorthodox leg kicks ever. Like, most guys will kick you through the thigh, or the inner thigh, or the lower leg. He kicks to the back of the knee. I mean, what the fuck? I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do that. It's just horrible. It's just, I mean, did you see Neil Magny's leg at the end? It was just mangled. It was horrible. And I mean, it's so effective. Like, I'm looking at that, and I'm like, I've got to use that because it's amazing. Like, it's both cool and so smart because you're minimizing the danger to your leg if the guy checks it. Because even if he checks it, you're still going to catch him at the back of the leg, or you'll just hit meat. You're not going to hit the knee because you're aiming for the back of the guy, from the back of the guy's knee, for Christ's sakes. And the guy can literally not move. So, I mean, he's just so impressive. I mean, that guy's been impressive since he first came into MMA. Like back in his day, when he was fighting at middleweight. I mean, there's a few guys out there, and I wish people knew them better. And I wish, like, the UFC or whoever promotes them did a better job of, like, basically, like, if they gave, like, these fighters a quarter of all the promotion and bullshit they pour into McGregor, these guys would be superstars. Because Lorenz Larkin is an MMA legend in his own right. I mean, this guy fought at heavyweight once upon a time. I mean, guys like him, Josh Bergman, and Joe Riggs. I mean, people like to group on Joe Riggs because he shot himself in the foot, which is really funny. But this guy, make no mistake, is a badass. I mean, those three guys, they fought. I mean, Josh Bergman is not very big. He's a very slim, he's not a big dude at all. He fought at light heavyweight for Christ's sakes. And he's fighting at lightweight right now. He just cut down to lightweight. He's, I think most of his career was spent at welterweight, but he moved up all the way to light heavy. Same goes for Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez fought as heavy as I know he fought at middleweight. I think. Yeah,
I was gonna say, wasn't it the middleweight was? I think middleweight was his heaviest.
Okay, well, Diego Sanchez is even smaller than Josh Bergman, so middleweight is amazing. I mean, this guy fought from middleweight. I mean, Diego Sanchez fought from middleweight all the way down to featherweight, and I'm glad he's not going to fight at featherweight anymore because it's just too much. Then you've got Josh Bergman, who fought from light heavyweight all the way down to lightweight. And now you've got Lorenz Larkin, who's a welterweight, but it was a career middleweight, just like Robbie Lawler. But Larkin, once upon a time, did fight at light heavyweight. So these guys are amazing dudes, and it's good that he's finally. And oh yeah, I wanted to discuss this. Did you know, like at UFC 202, he was fighting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the week, whenever there's a major UFC card, they have like a fan expo, right? Did you know that Lorenz Larkin not only did he not have a booth at the fan expo as a competing fighter, he didn't even have a ticket. Basically, he met with Luke Thomas, and Luke Thomas was like, "Well, where's your booth so I can meet you there?" He said, "I don't have a booth." He said, "I have to buy my ticket just like you, buddy." And Luke Thomas was like, "What are you talking about? I'm the press. I don't buy a ticket. I have my press, my reporter's card. I can get in." And he says, "Well, I have to buy my ticket like an event." So basically, Lorenz Larkin is a professional fighter, fights for the UFC, and can't even get into a fan expo for free, and doesn't even have his own booth. So tell me what's wrong with this picture, and then tell me if it's such a show.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. This guy has been around since Strikeforce. He's been in MMA for 15 years, and that's how he's being treated. So, and his contract is either over or it's over in one fight. So, like, I'm sure Scott Coker is aware of it. And I mean, he used to be one of Scott Coker's favorite fighters at Strikeforce. So I hope Scott Coker's got a nice offer for it, because this guy could be a superstar anywhere.
You know, he's gonna be all over that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The stats right now on his fight against on the significant strike, 13 for lead for the legs, and then Magny's just 5-1-2.
Exactly.
And that's
I mean, Magny,
Lorenz he's a beast, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But both of these men are. Like, Magny lost. It was a devastating loss, but he will be back. I mean, look at what he did.
Oh, yeah.
He had a 7-fight win streak, and he's the one guy that can match Cowboy for action, because basically him and Cowboy are the most prolific fighters in the last couple of years. I think he and Magny both fought 5 times last year or the year before, in 2014, and he went on a 7-fight winning streak. Lost it to Damien Maia at UFC 190. Then he rattled off 3 or 4 wins since then. I mean, and he beat some beasts. He beat Gastelum in a 5-rounder. He beats. He was the first one to stop Hector Lombard, who was unstoppable. Like, you just couldn't knock out Hector Lombard. He outlasted Lombard in a crazy fight, and he also choked out, I can't remember who else, but I think he won 3 or 4 times and then lost to Larkin. So he's going to go on another run. He's a really good fighter. So he's not going anywhere. And I for one wish him well, and I'll be looking forward to his next fight.
Oh yeah. All right, who do we got next?
Okay, we got Cowboy versus Story next, and that's another amazing fight.
Whew.
Jesus. Talk about
that combination. That set up that head. That was beautiful.
That was a masterpiece of violence and precision.
Violence and precision. I like that.
I'm glad you do that, right? But I mean, honestly, like, who does that for Story? Who does that for Story? Like, Rick Story is as tough as they come. Rick Story is a monster. Basically, his nickname says it all. The Horror Story. And boy, I picked Cowboy to win because I'm such a Cowboy fan, and it wasn't just because I was a fan. Like, I saw something in Cowboy when he knocked out Cote, who had never been knocked out before. I was like, oh, we've got something at welterweight. And I mean, he's so talented, but the way he just dispatched Story and out-wrestled Story. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I mean, I've never seen anybody out-wrestle Story apart from Damien Maia. Like, when Story beats Hendricks, even Hendricks couldn't out-wrestle Story. I mean, this is only the second man in MMA who ever out-wrestled Story since Damien Maia. So, again, but then again, I'd like to mention Dana's genius in like how he treats and makes friends and how he promotes his fighters, because it's like, I don't know what his issue is. Maybe it's like he spends so much energy like on McGregor that he has nothing left for any other fighter, because basically just about a month or two ago, Cowboy mentioned that, like, from was that after he beat Cote, he said from his pay, I'm actually quoting him verbatim here. He said, from my paycheck, I can tell that the UFC don't give a shit about me. And Dana's response on the MMA Shield podcast is called MMA Uncensored. It's basically it's the UFC's Mountain podcast. He just went full Dana White. He threw Cowboy in the excuse me. A little bit of a cough. He threw Cowboy under the bus in the most like disgusting way. He basically said, "Oh, every time he has a big fight, he lets himself down, he loses, and he's not consistent enough to be a superstar." I mean, you fight 7 times in 1 year. That's what? That's not consistent enough. I don't know what else is. And oh yeah, he lost to the lightweight champion. So yeah, big deal. You know, like at the time, Dos Anjos was on an absolute tear, and if you ask me, the fight was stopped too early. So you can't fault him for being stopped by the best, but like and it's the perfect response, because he moved up in weight. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's too small, he's too skinny for the weight," and he's been an absolute monster at welterweight. So. I mean,
it's the perfect weight for him, man.
Absolutely, and it's looking like the perfect weight for Masvidal as well. Like he's been a monster at welterweight ever since he moved up. So yeah, no, it's like I mean, they're talking about him versus Robbie Lawler, perhaps for UFC 205. So I guess we'll see. But
I hope it happens.
He apparently signed a new 8-fight
deal with the fights, dude. Yup,
yeah.
He signed an 8-fight deal with them.
And I could only hope
that shows.
Go ahead.
See, that shows how much he really wants that belt, and
he does.
And he knows what it takes, to do it. And I'm sure gave in and gave him what he wanted.
Yeah, well, they better. I hope whatever he was going to ask for, he tripled it, and I hope he raked him over the coals. And I hope he asked. I really hope he asked for an apology from Dana White for those dumbass comments. Because, yeah. Whatever. But yeah. Okay. Should we move on to the Rumble versus Glover Teixeira fight?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. This was going to go quickly because the fight didn't last too long, to be honest. 13 seconds of it. So it's just.
Well, it was 13 seconds, and in those 13 seconds, Teixeira needed to go see a dentist or something.
Jeez, that was his tooth, wasn't it? That flew out. I wasn't sure. But
it wasn't his tooth?
I think it might have been like that's what Joe Rogan was saying. Like something flew out.
Yeah, I thought it was his tooth.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's Rumble's a monster. It's not just how hard he hits; it's his speed. He's words fail me, man. It's just one. But it's going to be really interesting. It's going to get really interesting in light heavyweight all over again because Gustafson's coming back this weekend. Corey's the champ. John Jones is going to come back real soon, thankfully. So you've got 4 or 5 elite guys who are all looking at that title in Cormier. So, like, exciting times ahead. But yeah, Rumble has a great equalizer or whatever you want to call it in those fists of his because he can knock anybody out. And I mean, let's not forget.
Oh yeah.
Let's not forget OSP. I know he just fought for the title and it didn't go too well for him, but OSP is improving. And he didn't get finished by John Jones, and he took a beating for 5 rounds. And he gets a couple wins under his belt. He's a contender all over. And there's a lot of good fighters at light heavyweight for a weight class that was derided by a lot of the MMA media. I think we're back to some exciting times. And OSP, he's got a fight with Jimmy Manuwa in I think it's next month. Yeah, that's going to be another great fight. I've got OSP in this fight, but it's still a great fight because Manuwa can crack, man.
Oh yeah, Manuwa's he's a lot of people don't give him too much credit. In my opinion, I don't think they do. But it's going to be a good fight against OSP, man. It's going to be a really, really good fight.
I think people write Manuwa off because he's like Thiago Silva. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
He was always fun to watch. He's a little crazy. He hits hard, but every time he fights like truly world class talent, he comes short. And there's no dishonor. That's just the way it is, man. Like Thiago Silva was fearsome. He could knock out pretty much anybody. But when he faced Leo Nishida or Gustafsson, he couldn't get past him. And I think Manuwa is very much like him. He's got a lot of power. He's got decent speed. He's a decent athlete. But you put him in, I mean, look what happened to him versus Rumble or Gustafsson. Okay,
True.
Yeah, so basically, that's it. I think OSP is on another level in the sense that he's just a freak athlete. He's former football player. And he does get better every time I see him fight, win or lose. He always adds some new tricks, some new techniques to his game. So I still have I'm a fan, so obviously I'm biased, but I see big things in OSP's future. Oh, I'd also like to spare a mention for my what's his name, the Ukrainian fighter. He just knocked out what's his name? That was UFC 201. Amazing knockout of Herman. Ed Herman. They were fighting at night.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name right now, man.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? His nickname is Capone. Al Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh shit, my phone's dying.
Yeah. Next time I need to figure this out. It's getting embarrassing, man. Me and names.
Hey, it happens, man. I names. I'm bad at that.
But yeah, he's coming on strong, and every time he fights, he looks better. And like his last 3-4 fights, they've all been more impressive than the last. So
is it Krylov?
Yes, Nikita Krylov.
Nikita Krylov.
Yeah, That guy is amazing, and he's getting better and better. I mean, he used to fight at heavyweight. That obviously wasn't the right weight for him. He looked, bloated and slow. But ever since he moved to light heavyweight, he's been amazing. His last loss was to OSP. He overextended himself and went for that choke when he shouldn't have, and he got reversed and choked out himself by a triangle in OSP. But ever since then, he's been on a tear, man, and he's just getting his Muay Thai is just nasty. I mean, look what he did that hurt. The head kick was just nasty. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of talent right there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it's very fitting that we're talking about pretty much everybody good in light heavyweight during the breakdown of Rumble versus Teixeira, because I mean that's all we can say, because that's all we got to see. He's off 13 seconds. It was over. Yeah. Shall we move on to the main event? Or did you
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. This is going to be interesting. All right, the main event, like we mentioned earlier, McGregor edged a razor close decision, a majority decision against Nate Diaz. All right, so I'll let you comment on it first.
I think the first, I would say like the first 2 rounds, yeah, maybe round 1 and 2, was just devastating, and I think those kicks broke Nate mentally, because Nate had a chance, maybe like at the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th round, Nate had a chance to take him to the ground and choke him out. But I think because of those leg kicks, it just broke him, and he just either he couldn't take him down because his legs were so messed up. Just mentally, he just broke, because Conor was just precise, man. His punches, his kicking, it was. I mean, he came in with the game plan and succeeded.
Well, surprisingly, I see things quite differently. Like, surprisingly, what a shock. No, basically, I understand what you're saying, but like, to me, being okay, disclaimer, I'm a huge Diaz brothers fan, mark, believer, whatever you want to call it, disciple even. But one thing I know about the Diaz brothers, you can beat them, you can't break them. And I'm not making excuses for Nate, but he did mention at his credit, explaining he walked in with a rib and a knee injury. But I'm not using that as an excuse, because I honestly believe if anybody won that fight, it's Nate. I've had plenty of debates, arguments, what have you, shouting matches, people calling my mother every name under the sun because of my, this is the world we live in. I disagree with you, your mother's other, that's how it works. You know what I mean? But basically, okay, I'm going to try and keep this as sane as I can, but basically, I saw someone break in that cage that night, and it wasn't Nate, it was McGregor. Like, he broke in the first one, and he started breaking at the end of the second. He did very well. The first round was absolutely like the perfect, almost a picture perfect round on how to fight the Diaz brother. Because basically he just went for leg kicks, rinse, repeat, leg kicks after leg kick. That was brilliant. And Nate checked a couple, but that actually makes that, like, with hindsight, it actually makes sense now that his when his trainer said Nate had a knee injury, it made sense with that, because he wasn't checking them. Like, I don't know if you, I mean, I know you have seen every Diaz brothers fight, but Nate's always been better at checking kicks than Nate. Nate just doesn't care. He knows how to check it, but he won't check it. So you can beat up his leg. But Nate will check it from time to time. And I was wondering, like, okay, it's very clear what Conor was doing. Why wasn't he checking it? And then when Richard Perez said basically like Nate walked in with a knee injury, it made sense to me. Because the other one had me perplexed. Nate went full wrestler on Conor. When he tried to take him down, he shot for double legs more than I've ever seen him do before. And usually his takedowns, when the Diaz brothers go for takedowns, they don't go for double legs like wrestlers. They go upper body takedowns. Like they clinch, they get the underhooks and they reverse you. Like he did in the fifth round, the end of the fifth round. That was a beautiful takedown, upper body takedown. And he executed it perfectly. He reversed it and boom, landed on his back. And usually that's how he goes for takedowns. But he kept on shooting for the double leg. And the fact that his knee was injured probably had something to do with that. Now, like I said, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying what I saw. And I still think he won. Or at the very least, it should have been a draw. Because basically...
I agree with you that. It should have been a draw. For sure. No doubt.
Because the only person who broke, to me, was McGregor. And you know why? Because when you put your hands down and run and show your back to your opponent, that's breaking. And I'm not talking about like...
But are you sure he was? Are you sure he was running or resetting?
Yeah, I like that. No. Let me explain something to you, Leprechaun fans out there. There's resetting. Resetting is shuffling side to side, like Mayweather does, or resetting like Gustafsson when he knows you're setting him up for a takedown and Cormier's coming at him. He'll switch. He'll shimmy, or he'll even turn his back. Move to the center of the cage and reset. That's resetting. When you put your hands down and you run to the other side of the cage while your opponent is basically kicking you in the ass and pointing at you and showing you the finger, that's running. Okay? And I'm not calling him, like, basically he was surviving. And I'm going to give Conor a kudos because I honestly did not believe he had the stomach or the heart to go 5 rounds. And he proved that he did. Like, he managed to survive. However, that should go against you. When you run, and he did, and run he did, in the second, third, and fourth rounds, and even fifth rounds, he did it multiple times, that should count against you. Okay? Whether it's a yellow card like they had in Pride, or like they now have in 1FC. I don't know if you saw their last event. They actually, both Sapo and Igor Spirit got yellow cards. And those are harsh in 1FC, man. If you get a yellow card, that's 20% of your fight first gone. By the way, they don't mess around. Oh yeah, man. You get a yellow card for inactivity in 1FC, that's 20% of your fight first gone. That's like not mess around. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know if Rich Franklin had anything to do with it, but wow. But I'm not speaking ill of 1FC because they are a great fight promotion, and the job Rich Franklin is doing over there is amazing. Like the fighter safety, weight cuts, I love what they do. But anyways, to get back to the subject at hand. Okay, so there was that. Like there was only one guy that was at risk of being finished in the entire fight, and that was Nate Leprechaun. Nate was always fine. The second, yes, those 3 knockdowns were huge. The first one especially was massive because he didn't see it coming. The other 2, especially the third one, he went down easy, people. Okay, still a knockdown, still scores, absolutely. But he went down easy, and he stayed down, and he even called Leprechaun down. You saw it both times, both in the second and third knockdown. He was like taunting him. He was like, "Come down here. It's fun down here." And Leprechaun, for all the bullshit he was talking before the fight, like, "Oh yeah, I'm completely comfortable going to the ground with Nate." He didn't seem so eager to go to the mat with Nate. So there you go. I never thought I'd say this, but I guess maybe he's getting a dose of reality, and it's setting in for him. Coming from the guy who said, like, I can beat Luke Rockhold at middleweight.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, and oh yeah, like, and whatever his coach said, and I'm sure you heard it, Roberto. Between the second and fifth rounds, every time they had a break, he kept on saying the same thing, like, you're winning the clinch, you're winning the clinch. Like,
He was not winning the clinch.
He wasn't even close to winning the clinch, man. I mean, freaking.
Maybe clinching the butt.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't know. It's amazing. Like, a guy like that can be an MMA coach, coaching like a feather, you know, one of the MMA champions. For all the hatred, Ronda's coach gets, Edmund Tarverdian, he got a lot of hate. I mean, he even got like accusations of match fixing. They're saying like he set Ronda up to lose because he beat that. I mean, he gets a lot of hate. And freaking John Kavanaugh and his idiot self doesn't get any kind of criticism. I'm not calling for people to hate on him. I'm just saying, like, people should call him on his bullshit, because everything that comes out of his mouth is embarrassing. Like, it's just, he's even more, like, it's one thing for a fighter to be unrealistic or completely deluded or delusional. It's another thing for his coach to have no grasp on reality at all, and that's dangerous. Because, like, he was the one egging McGregor on to go and fight Robbie Lawler. I don't know if you remember that. And I mean, boy, did they dodge the bullet. Because Robbie Lawler, I mean, just look at what he does to people. Imagine McGregor in a cage with Robbie Lawler. Look at that.
Get destroyed, man.
It's just like Robbie Lawler said. He said, "I'd take his soul," and that's exactly what he do. He wouldn't go for the neck. I mean, you know, Robbie Lawler isn't exactly fond of submissions, is he? I mean, for Christ's sakes, Robbie Lawler is an ace wrestler. Very few people know that, because, you know, he prefers to fight it out. He's a brawler at heart, and good for him. He makes some great fights, but he can wrestle his ass off. It's just he never uses it because he wants to thank you. So
he wants to brawl.
Exactly. He wants to bang. So imagine what he would have done to McGregor. So, yeah. No, basically that's my takeaway. And here's the other reason I believe, like, Nate won, it should have been a draw. Nate outstruck McGregor. Nate also, apparently, it's been made official, broke the all-time record for significant strikes in a single UFC bout. And basically, from the last part of round 2 onwards, it was all Nate. At even round 4, which was very close, I don't think McGregor won round 4. I don't understand why everybody scored round 4 for McGregor. Like, okay, if you want to score it for him, fine, but I don't see it as that clear cut. That, you know, it's not clear cut for either man, because McGregor showed heart, he came back, but whatever. Like, if it had been called a draw, I'd have been okay. I wouldn't have complained. But the fact that they gave it to McGregor just strikes me as just like cronyism and basically like, oh, Connor's such a big star right now, they have to give it to him, which to me doesn't mean shit. Because it's not because you're a big star that you deserve to win the fight. You deserve to win the fight because you won the fight. And to me, you didn't. Whatever. It's just me.
Yeah, I would have been more happier if it was a draw.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, I mean, I'm looking forward to the third one. And what makes me laugh is everybody's talking about, oh, it has to be at 155, as if, you know, Conor was at such a disadvantage fighting at 170. Like, oh, look how brave he was to fight at 170. You wanted to fight at 170 in the first place because your ass was so out of shape. You were eating steaks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner like a fool, and you couldn't make the weight. I just love the way he does stuff, and then he tries to make it look like he's so brave, and he makes it look like I love it. You know, at 196, like Dana and Connor got caught in the lie because they tried to make it look like it was Nate who asked for 170. And Nate said, nah, I never asked for 170. I said 155 is fine. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me because, you know, I've been partying, but I could make 155. And they called him back and said, we want to make it 170 because Connor can't make 155. And remember, Connor was the one fighting for the 155 belt in the first place. So, yeah. And I love the way they both got caught in live. Well, you know, Connor was trying to make him, you know, trying to make it look like he was like the brave little man, the brave wee man from Dublin, like taking on a monstrous heavyweight. Nate is 155, is a lightweight fighter. I mean, the guy could be dripping wet, eating Cheetos for a month, and he wouldn't weigh more than 175. Like, the guy's tall, he's a big dude, but you can see the way the Diaz brothers are built. They don't weigh that much. It's just, you know, they don't have it in them to get fat. They're straight up ectomorphs. Ectomorphs don't gain weight. So, yeah, they need to stop it with that nonsense. And I love the fact that they're all saying, like, McGregor saying, and of course his Mac daddy, Dana White, are saying, oh, yeah, next fight has to be 155. 155 is Nate's bread and butter. Like, it's going to go much worse for McGregor than 155.
I think so too. I think if they do make it at 155, Connor's not gonna. If he barely lasts these 5 rounds at 170, what makes him think that if Nate Diaz goes down to 155 is gonna be even, it's gonna even be better for him. It's gonna be better.
Remember, he gassed out at the end of the second round. At the end of the second round. That is stunningly. I'm not. This is not biased. It's. You can see it for yourself. Watch the fight again, people. If you think I'm talking shit here, he was gassing out. Like, I'm not making this up. And I mean, for a small fighter, he's supposed to be a featherweight, a career featherweight or lightweight. That is stunningly bad. Like, a championship featherweight gassing out at the end of the second round. This is unheard of. Like, that's one of the things about the lower weights. Okay, maybe they don't hit as hard, you don't get as many knockouts, but one thing you just don't do is gas out. Like BJ Penn, towards the end of his career, had condition issues. Like, he didn't train as hard as he should have, or he wasn't as focused, but he never gassed out. And BJ is a bigger guy than McGregor. He was older by then. He was well into his 30s, so he was 1 year older than me, and he never gassed. I've never seen BJ gas. And McGregor gassed out. The second fight in a row, he ended the second round. So that's an issue, and people have been attacking him. Now, he's talking about his options, apparently, are either fighting for the lightweight belt or fighting Aldo to unify the featherweight belt. So what do you think those two are going to look at? They're going to look at that. Aldo is going to look at that, and, you know, obviously he's not going to repeat the mistake he made in the first fight. And Eddie Alvarez, who's as tough as they come, who's as savvy a fighter as they come, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to lean on him. And remember, Alvarez is a stud wrestler as well. He's like a Robbie Lawler in the sense he's an amazing wrestler, but he prefers to bang it out. That doesn't mean he can't wrestle. Like, look what he did to Anthony Pettis. So he'll just lean on him, clinch McGregor up against the cage, and put all his weight and dirty box his way until McGregor gasses again, which he will, unless he goes on a cardio run. And even if he doesn't gas out, then he'll just take him down and either submit him or ground and pound him into oblivion. It's funny, a lot of people think McGregor is bigger than ever, and maybe he is, maybe he's more popular than ever, but you can only lie to people that much. Eventually, he's going to have to prove himself at lightweight or even featherweight, and believe me, this featherweight, if he does go down to featherweight to face Aldo, it's going to be a very different fight. I picked Aldo the first time, but this time he's not going to get into Aldo's head that easily. And second of all, Aldo is the greatest featherweight. And if Aldo, I mean, first of all, Aldo is much quicker than him. His technical striking is way better. He's a lot harder to hit than McLeod. McLeod, that's the thing. He's a very good striker. He hits very hard at 145. But the problem is he's not very hard to hit. Like his head movement is very, very rudimentary. It's not hard to catch. Even in his heyday, when he was knocking featherweights out like one after the other on his run to Aldo's belt, you could see it. He got caught multiple times by Dennis Siegel. He got caught multiple times by Dustin Poirier. And he got caught, and he got put in some serious trouble with Max Holloway, who is not the Max Holloway we see today. Like I can name you 5 featherweights on the cuff right now that I would pick over McGregor. And one of them is even considered a contender right now. It's Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens would work on McGregor. Jeremy Stephens can crack and he can wrestle. Then you got Max Holloway. And like I said, I believe Aldo beats him if they break the fight again. Then you have guys like Ricardo Lamas. Lamas is a badass. Lamas is an amazing wrestler as well. I'd pick him over McGregor. Especially after seeing this fight with seeing McGregor gas. Unless McGregor can catch Lamas real quick. And then you move up to lightweight. Lightweight is even worse. Lightweight is full of monsters. Right? There's like we said, there's the champion Eddie Alvarez, who I pick over McGregor. There's Nate Diaz at lightweight, who would just destroy McGregor, I believe, at lightweight because he's faster at lightweight. There's the former champion Los Angeles. If Cowboy decides to go back down to lightweight, he would destroy.
Oh, dude.
He would destroy. If he did, go ahead. Go back.
No, I was going to say, if he tries, Cowboy is going to just... it's game over, man. It's game over.
What he did to Cote and Rick Story. Now put McGregor in that cage. I put McGregor past the second round up against Cowboy. You just imagine what would happen. That's ugly. That's like putting almost as bad as putting a Chihuahua with a tiger. It's with a tiger. It's almost like it almost rings of remember those? I love Pride, but some of their matchmaking was pretty nasty. Like remember what they put in that up and coming Japanese fighter in with Vanderlei. He ended up under. Basically, he Vanderlei stomped him into unconsciousness. It's like one of my favorite gifts. He's just stomping away down the guy's head. Like, it would be like that, basically. Like, he's lucky that, the United States don't allow stomps or something kicks to the head to a known adversary, because that's how ugly it could be. Now, lightweight is just full of killers, and then, like, he's still talking about going up to the welterweight belt one of these days. Yeah, welcome to realism. But you wrote an excellent article about it. Like, they're reviving the whole Mayweather talk as well, which is just beautiful. Man. It's just like, let's like next on Ricardo, right? Like freaking, it's just like there's nobody around that guy that can like even attempt to talk some sense into this. He actually believes he could go toe to toe with Mayweather, and it would end well. But there's guys who are saying, like, I forget what's his name, that idiot who used to do First Take. He's on Fox. He was saying after seeing what he did with Nate Diaz, I honestly believe that, he wouldn't win against Mayweather, but he wouldn't be embarrassed.
Yeah, that fight's never going to happen, though.
You never know.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, but I, I don't know, man.
Did you?
I watch it though.
Yeah, no, I would watch it too. Like, hey, everybody's like, it's like I've said it quite a few times. I don't know if I've said it on this show, but basically, there's only one MMA fighter I refuse to watch, and that's Bigfoot Silva. That's Bigfoot Silva because like it just pains me to see what's become of him. Like he's obviously got health issues, and the fact that they won't let him take TRT, like testosterone replacement therapy, is wrong. Like he needs it. He has less than anybody else because of the tumor. He's suffering, and he gets knocked out way too easily. So whenever he fights, I just leave the room really quick until the fight's over. But otherwise, of course, I watch it. Like basically, like the thing is, like McGregor, or Nick Leprechaun as I call him, like he's very popular right now, and there's a lot of money to be made for a lot of people. And when there's that much money to be made, usually they find a way to make it. That's what worries me. Like, I don't want it to be made. I don't want that fight to be made ever because it's demeaning to both sports. And I mean, it's not like we're not talking about one of the Diaz brothers getting in with Mayweather. Like they actually have very good boxing, and I honestly believe they wouldn't be embarrassed. They wouldn't win, but they would not be embarrassed. But McGregor will be. It will be just like, remember when Ricky Hatton faced Mayweather?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen to McLeod. But it's going to happen to him in the first round or two, or at the very maximum 3. Like Mayweather decides to make a show of it. But I mean, it could easily it'd be over in a matter of seconds, like that ugly, but in one round. But what I'm saying is, like, Paul Gift had a really interesting article about it, like how he could make it, like by cutting out the UFC. Is basically, if he really wanted to make it without the UFC's blessing and cut them out completely out of the deal, what he would do is Nick Leprechaun asks for goes to the VADA athletic commission and asks to be how do you say listed or enter registered. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. He registers as a fighter, as a boxer, right? As a professional boxer. If they give him his registration, he falls automatically under the Ali Act. And if that works, then the UFC can't touch him because he's no longer an MMA fighter. He's a boxer, right? And once you have the Ali Act on your side, they can't stop you because the Ali Act was designed to stop a promoter cutting you, like just to prevent a promoter from stopping you fighting for another promotion or making money. So basically, that's one way we can go about it. I'm not saying it would work, but legally, he's in his rights to do that. So, but believe me, when there's like hundreds of millions of dollars available, people find a way to make things work. So, if they really want to make it work, and even if I wouldn't put it past Dana to make it happen. Just like if he wants to do it with Dana's blessing, Dana would do it. He just wants his pound of flesh. And like they obviously aren't getting along like they used to. And the UFC, that's their MO. Like when somebody gets too popular, they will find a way to shut you down. So maybe that would be their way of shutting him down by getting him knocked out in another sport. So you never know.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I hope it doesn't happen. And I just want I'd like to see him fight Aldo next. Because I'm sorry, but Aldo is the greatest featherweight of all time. He's one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, and he deserves a rematch. And especially after the performance he put on against Frankie Edgar, who's also one of the greatest of all time. He deserves his rematch, and like that's the least they can give him. But either that, or he relinquishes the title and fights for the lightweight. But I don't see his next few fights going very well for him.
No, and I don't see him. I think I see him going back to uh, defend that title because of pride. He's probably not going to want to, let that title go to keep fighting in these heavier weight classes. Um, I also too want to see him fight Aldo.
Me too.
The fluke, losing
Yeah.
that the way he lost, it was a fluke. It was just,
And the way he was
and
treated before he lost.
yeah, it just no. He needs to come back and beat the shit out of him.
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, no, he, or at least relinquish the title and let Aldo or whoever wants to fight, because I mean there's a lot of up and coming and special fighters at featherweight. I mean, just none more than what's his name, Max West Holloway. Max Holloway. What's the name?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, what is wrong with me today? Yeah, it's Max Holloway, right?
Yeah, Max Holloway.
Max Holloway. He's on a tear, and he's a special. I mean, to be honest, like the only guy I can see beating Aldo, like a switched on, focused Aldo, is Max Holloway. I don't think anybody else at featherweight can beat Aldo. So, like,
Yeah, that would be a good fight to watch.
yeah, with Chad Mendes out of the picture, maybe Jeremy Stevens, because the Jeremy Stevens of the last couple of fights he's shown me something completely different. His movement is better. He's more polished. He still has that ridiculous knockout power, but I mean, I don't know if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, the episode where he featured. He was talking about this new coach he has called Naughty Aguilar, and this guy's amazing. I mean, like, fuck movement coaches. This guy, it's all about his technique is functional patterns. Basically, it's about combat. Whether you're kicking, striking with your hands, or swinging a sword or an axe, it's all about flow and the ease of movement. So basically, it's to help you with your agility, but minimum effort. And it's working, man. It's working for Jeremy Stevens, because he's never looked better than he has in his last couple of fights. So, yeah. And then you've got, what's his face? At featherweight too. Former bantamweight champion, Henan Barao. And he's going to do some more at featherweight. So yeah, you got a lot of talented fighters down there who were just like basically spinning their heels until the whole title picture is settled.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, did you want to add anything about this, or?
No, covered pretty much everything.
Okay. Okay. In closing, I just wanted to make a comment on. By now everybody's heard about Rory MacDonald moving to Bellator. But I think it's a great move for Rory. Especially since they weren't, the UFC obviously weren't appreciating everything he's done for the welterweight division in the UFC. They weren't going to pay him what he's worth. I don't even think they were going to play anything close to what he's worth. And make no mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is special. It doesn't matter that he lost his last two fights. He was winning his fight against Robbie. He was going to be welterweight champion, but his body just basically just broke down on him, and there's no shame in that. And then he fought Wonderboy, who's going to be a nightmare for anybody, and who is probably the future welterweight champion, unless GSP gets involved. But I'm really happy for Rory. He's going to get paid very well at Bellator. He's in good hands with Scott Coker, who's one of the, to me, he's my pound for pound the best promoter ever, because he always treats his fighters right. So, and don't be surprised if by the end of next year, you have Bellator middleweight and welterweight champion next to Rory MacDonald's name. I would not be surprised at all because that's how good he is. He's big enough to fight both weight classes. So, yeah.
Yeah, really good move for Rory to go to Bellator. Really good. Like you said, man, he's gonna dominate. It's just a really smart move for him to go there, man. A lot of fighters, man. You'll see, a lot of fighters are gonna start ending up going to Bellator. But hopefully in his first fight, I'm not sure. They haven't said when it's gonna be, but hopefully it's going to be more comfortable for him to fight in a. Let's put it this way: it's going to be a culture shock because he's going to be fighting in Bellator, but with a smaller crowd than what he's used to fighting when he fought in the UFC. So hopefully he takes advantage of that, where it's going to be more, I guess, more focused for him to be fighting and not trying to, type of show that he's so used to putting on at UFC.
Yeah, less distractions, less pressure. But on the other hand,
less distractions.
Rory is a draw. Like they make fights in the right places. I'm thinking, like for example, Canada, where he's the second biggest MMA star, Canadian MMA star after George. The crowds will get bigger. With Rory, make no mistake, like every time he headlined the cards always did well. Whether they were fight nights or, remember the UFC 189 was co-headlined by him and Robbie, and it did very well. It did nearly, it did close to $1 million. And every fight night, particularly in Canada that he headlined, did very good numbers. So Bellator, are going to do very well with him. And yeah, like you said, at first maybe the crowd will be smaller, the arenas will be smaller. But for him, when you fight, it's going to be easier to focus, maybe less interviews, maybe less distractions. So it's going to be good for him to. But believe you me, with him on board and the fights they're going to put on with him, the crowds are going to get bigger. You can already see like the difference. Like you see the venues Bellator are using and getting into now, ever since Coker took over. It's getting bigger. The SAP Center is as big as pretty much any venue the UFC uses, and they're going there like 2 or 3 times a year since Coker did that. So yeah, Bellator are getting bigger and bigger. They did very good numbers in London a few months ago when Paul Daly took on Lima, Douglas Lima.
Oh yeah.
And that was the O2. The O2 is a big venue, and they sold out almost. They almost sold out. I don't think they quite sold out, but they did very well. So Bellator just got bigger, even bigger with Rory on board. They're going to be able to put on some truly. And they didn't sign a has-been. They didn't sign. Okay, he wasn't the former champion, but you could easily make the argument that Rory's still getting better, and Rory might not even hit his prime yet. And basically, they signed the guy who completely shut down the welterweight champion, the current UFC welterweight champion. Anybody who saw that fight, that was one of Rory's most impressive fights in his entire career, when he shut down Tyron Woodley. Like, Woodley couldn't do anything against him. And the only reason Rory didn't get the finish was because Tyron went in full survival mode. Otherwise, he would have been finished. He was exhausted. He was hurting by the end of the fight. So yeah, that's a great sign there. I'm really excited about the future for Rory and for the Bellator. Like that, with that signing, they showed that they're really serious about the future, and that Scott Coker is, he's really looking forward to build that welterweight division in Bellator, which for a long time, ever since they let Ben Askren walk, he suffered because nobody took him seriously for a while. That was a huge mistake. But that wasn't even Scott Coker to blame. That was the previous regime. Like they let two of their biggest champions just leave under bad circumstances. Ben Askren and the current UFC lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie Alvarez, yeah.
They both with the straps. That was a bad look. But in the 1 year and a half, the year and a half and 2 years that Scott Coker's been running things at Bellator, he's made up for a lot of damage done. So I'm really happy, really excited. In closing, real quick, I'd just like to discuss the latest on GSP. I don't know if you guys have heard, like I'm sure you by now have heard that GSP announced that he's back, he wants to fight. He's even officially entered the USADA, or UVADA as I call it, testing pool, the 4 months, as opposed to Mr. Brock Lesnar, who got waived because, money. But GSP is testing like everybody else. But I don't like what's been really disconcerting and unexplainable is Dana's reaction to GSP announcing he was back. Basically, if he's not denying it, he's questioning GSP's heart, his desire, his almost his manhood. By every time GSP announces like I'd like to fight him or this fighter, I'd even fight at lightweight if you need me to. He always says the same thing, like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. Or sometimes he'll say, like just yesterday he was saying like I can tell you, like I've been in this business for 25 years, I can tell when somebody's ready to fight. And GSP he doesn't have it in him to fight. And it's like, it's really, it's perplexing because it's like, first of all, your greatest welterweight champion ever, your biggest box office star ever wants to come back. And I'm sorry, Dana, but you don't have the greatest track record as far as like, oh, who's ready to fight or not. I mean, he's the guy who let Chuck Liddell get knocked out. So that finished out his UFC career, getting knocked out like 3 or 4 times in the most brutal fashion in a row, and still let him fight. So I don't think it's so much like he cares about GSP's health. I think it's something else. So
he's just pissed and bitter.
Exactly. Maybe, yeah, no, exactly. He's pissed and bitter. I mean, it was interesting because yesterday on his radio show, Luke Thomas basically was speculating the exact same thing. And he was saying it could be a mix of a couple things. It could be like bargaining. It could be just a bargaining for it, which is a pretty dumb one if you ask me. Like basically he doesn't want to pay over the odds for GSP. He's trying to strengthen the UFC's bargaining leverage or power by almost shaming GSP into signing any kind of fight agreement, or it could just be just bitterness and trying to get one over on George because George left. When George left, it was a bad time for him to leave because he was the biggest star in the game. Anderson Silva had just been defeated, and they really needed GSP to stick around, and GSP decided he wasn't. But then again, if that's the reason he's so bitter and underhanded about it, Dana only has himself to blame. I don't know. I'm sure you saw it, Roberto. The UFC 167 post-fight press conference. That will live long in my memory. Is one of the lowest points in the UFC's history. The way he threw GSP under the bus after GSP beats Johnny Hendricks in a very close decision. But the way he just outright lied and said that GSP owed the UFC a rematch and all this nonsense. So, but GSP just said, "I'm going to."
GSP.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say GSP doesn't owe anybody anything.
He does not.
he wants to retire, he can retire, and if he wants to come back, he's going to come back.
Exactly. Well,
And there's nothing that Dana White can do for GSP to come back or not, because you know why?
what's the name? Why? You there?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. No, I was done.
Okay.
It was weird. My phone just like flickered.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you cut out for a second. That's why I was waiting for what you were going to say. I was waiting for a punchline, but yeah, no, it's just basically it's also like just before the podcast, I read a headline off of Sure, and basically GSP answered Dana tonight. I mean, basically, like, he obviously he's had enough of Dana's nonsense, and basically told Dana and everybody that's listening, basically, I'm ready to fight whenever. That's basically what he had to say, and he's saying, look, the ball is in the UFC's court. Like, I'm ready to fight whenever. I'm willing to fight whoever. And I mean, I love who he called out. He said, I'll fight anybody, but the three people I'd love to fight more than anything are Tyron Woodley, Damien Maia, and Nick Diaz. And I mean, like, that's not exactly the three easiest people to fight with. One of them is the welterweight champ. The other, Damien Maia, is a guy nobody wants to fight after what he did to Condit. And the other is Nick Diaz, who's a nightmare for anybody. So when you say, like, those three would really elevate my game, and I'd really like to fight any of them if I had to pick anybody. And, like, he's picking three of the biggest monsters at welterweight. And he basically said, I can fight anybody. I'll fight anybody. I'll fight at any time. It's just like the UFC know my like what I want and my contract stipulations. He said, I am not going to fight for peanuts. And it made me so happy to hear that. I said, look, my contract is the old contract. So, like, either you want me to wear Reebok, you're going to have to compensate me for all the money I'm going to lose, or you're going to allow me to wear my sponsors. Because he said, like, I still owe my sponsors. I still make a lot of money from my sponsors, so I'm not going to lose all that money without getting replaced. So I guess, like, you're getting a little insight into maybe why they stop with all this nonsense. But it's like, it's only fair. Like, you impose, like, I call it the Reebok deal, but they call the Reebok deal on a bunch of hapless fighters, like cutting their revenue by up to 90% for some fighters because they can't, they all lost their sponsors, and you're not going to compensate them for their loss of income. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, there's no other like company or sports league that would do that. So basically, he's just asking for what's fair. And as one of the biggest stars in the sports history, he's more than entitled to it. So basically, he called them out, and he said, like, I'm ready to fight whenever. They know my demands, and I'm ready to talk. And he was saying, like, basically, Dana is not gonna provoke me into signing a deal that I know is bad, that we both know is bad. So it's up to him. The ball's in his court. So I love his response. So yeah, it's exciting times. Like, he's one of the greatest to ever do it, in my personal opinion. And yes, I am biased because I'm a huge GSP fan. I think he is the greatest pound for pound fighter ever. I think like, the guy who will replace him very shortly will be John Jones. But for now, I still think GSP is the greatest of all time. So like, I really hope he comes back soon, and the fact that he's ready to come back makes me really happy. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything to add with Bellator?
No, just that it's when and when he comes back, it's gonna be some good fights, man.
Like, even even if he wants to rematch some people. I mean, even if, like, look at, I mean,
What they should do is give him Maya,
yeah,
and the winner of that fight fights the winner of Woodley and Wonder Boy.
yeah, yeah, or yeah, I agree with that. Or even like if they're gonna give an immediate shot at the title for Ronda, and you know I love Ronda, I'm a huge Ronda fan. But if Ronda gets an immediate shot at the belt when she comes back, then George St. Pierre, I have no problem with them giving George, like George St. Pierre has earned the same respect. But like any fight they give him will be fun, will be great to watch. Like, him versus Maya is going to be amazing. Him versus Woodley will be amazing. Him versus Condit, like a rematch versus Condit, a rematch versus Diaz would be amazing. Hell, him versus Lawler would be amazing. Or even him versus Bisping. Well, by then it will be too late because Dan Henderson will be the new welterweight champion. Knock on wood. But you know what I mean? Like, even there are some middleweight fights that would be awesome. And St. Pierre even said he'd be willing to try fighting at lightweight. I mean, imagine St. Pierre at lightweight. There's so many amazing. I mean, him versus Dos Santos, and even Dos Santos was saying, "Oh, if GSP wants to come back, I'd fight it, for the lightweight." That would be awesome. Imagine St. Pierre versus Kukui, Tony Ferguson. How awesome would that be? That's a fight for the ages, isn't it?
The list is endless.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So I can't wait for him to come back. I hope Dana stops this. I mean, basically, it's just childish behavior. If he stops with this bitter, twisted, petty nonsense and just gets the fight made for Christ's sakes, and I mean, MMA is just going to get better. It's just going to get better. I mean, there's negatives, of course, and most of the negatives are from the people who are supposed to help structure it and run it. But things are changing. The fact that the fighter lawsuits is still going, that's a good thing. The fact that the powers that be are being challenged like they've never been challenged before. The fact that fighters unionizing is a distinct reality. For years it looked like it would never happen. It's looking like it could really happen. Whether it's an association or union doesn't matter. The fact that they're actually discussing it and meeting and brave men and women like Randy Couture and okay, here we go. Lauren Smith, is that her name?
I think so.
Yeah, if I got her name right, I apologize to her and any of her fans. The woman that fought Cyborg, bravely, like she's still an active fighter and stood up and showed her face and spoke up for her fellow fighters. I mean, I have so much respect for her, right? And any of the other fighters who stood up. Same goes for Mark Hunt. Like the fact that the active fighters are actively calling for a fighters association, a fighters union, is a beautiful thing. So things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. I honestly believe in the next 2-3 years, we might see cross promotions. We might see the Bellator champ taking on the UFC champ or the ONE FC champ. That's a possibility, and I'm really excited about it because that's the way it should be. There shouldn't be any limits for fighters. Fighters should be able to earn a living wherever they go. So I really hope that's what the future holds, but there's also going to be great fights in the future. So exciting times. Before we leave, Roberto, do you have any news on your side? Any local fighters? Any grassroots up and coming fighters?
No, not at the moment that I can think of. I think right now it's. I think by the next episode I'll be able to get some more info on some local fights that are going to happen.
Awesome. And I'll just spare a thought because I know I give them a lot of shit. The World Series of Fighting, their November card is possibly the greatest card they ever put together. They have the lightweight champion Justin Gaethje defending his belt. They've got Sean Jordan is on that card, who I believe will be their future heavyweight champion. I believe he will beat Blagoy Ivanov. He's going to be on their card. It's a stacked card, possibly the most stacked card in their history. So that's one to look out for. Shout out to True Form Entertainment. Did I say that right, Roberto?
Yeah, they put on an awesome show, man.
I know. I wasn't able to get the whole event, but I saw a few of their fights, man. Like, seriously, like, hats off to them. Like, that's a really good promotion they've got going, and they're going to go from strength to strength. And it's just nice to see Joe Daddy Stevenson back where he belongs in the cage. So, there's a lot of regional, local MMA promotions out there doing great work. So, next episode I'll list them off. We'll be talking plenty about. This is not just a UFC centralized or Bellator centralized podcast. We're going to talk about any and all MMA promotion. Like in England, they just have a new one called ROC or Rock MMA. They're pretty good. There's UGMMA in England as well. They're doing an amazing job. And of course, you've got, I believe, Cage Warriors. There's Bama for the Irish promotion. We're doing amazing work. They recently had, they're going to have a card in the United States, British MMA in the States. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of good regional talent going. So we're going to bring you news about all of them. And if you want to read or learn more about them, go to fightbookmma.com. Roberto does an excellent job promoting these guys. So, yeah. And just before we go, I'd like a quick shout out to the fine gentlemen at Split Decision MMA. Thanks for following us, and thanks for liking and reposting our content. We really appreciate it, guys. You guys are the best.
Really good guys, man.
Yeah. Well, I think that's our show for tonight, guys. Roberto, anything left to add?
Just thanks, everyone for their support and for listening to our rants, if you want to call it that. Like you said, you can got a lot of good news on my website there on fightbookmma.com. You can listen to our show. It's on the website. And yeah, just follow us on Google Plus. We're pretty active there.
Absolutely. There's also MMA Hype Watch, Gerald's community and website. You can also follow Gerald's brand new community on IMSI. It's called Everything Mixed Martial Arts. It's an excellent website as well. We're full of great articles as well. And of course, the aforementioned Fight Book MMA, you guys. I can't tell you how good it is, but you can follow it on Facebook, on Google Plus, online. You can go straight to the website as well. So you guys feel free to come and visit and subscribe, and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube or on SoundCloud. We're posted on SoundCloud. We'll soon be on iTunes and Stitcher, and possibly Player FM, which can be found. It's an app that can be found on Google Play or Google Store. Anyways, that's our podcast for tonight. Have a good night. Iris out.
Good night. Peace out.